Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Conversation Series podcast. I am your host, Danielle Clardy, and you guys are here for another Fireside Chat. Our Fireside Chats are 15-minute conversations on one very particular topic, and we just see where the conversation goes. Usually we have one or two guests here with us, but today it is just little old me back here again. The last time it was this, we were talking about the experiment I did about living on my own this summer to see if I was fully ready to do it. This time you are back here with me because I just got to do a really, really unique experience lately, and it was about 2 weeks ago now. On a beautiful Saturday morning in Richmond, Virginia. I had been training for 12 weeks leading up to this to finally be at the start line of the CarMax half marathon in downtown Richmond, Virginia, to run 13.1 miles. Now, some of you listening, you may be a runner. You may be a frequent short distance. You may be a sprinter. You may be like running. I have no idea what that is. It is all good. I share the same sentiment after running this last half marathon. Just so you guys know, a half marathon is 13.1 miles. A marathon is 26.2. If we want to get into all of them, 5K is 3.1, 10K is 6.2. All of this goes into what I am getting ready to talk about, which is doing the dang thing and running a half marathon, which now seems so crazy that I did after all this time of not doing one. A little background of my running career. I'm 24 years old. I have been running for 12 years of my life. I bounced around from sport to sport to sport, and finally I found running, and I kind of got obsessed with it. I started with Girls on the Run. I then went in middle school and did track. High school, found cross country, did that all 4 years, and then was doing track as well. In the 8th grade, I was working with a personal trainer, and I made the dumb mistake of at home saying I was going to run a half marathon. Cue that up of March of my 8th grade year of middle school. I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, more particularly Wrightsville, North Carolina, and I was running my first half marathon. I was in the 8th grade, which seems a little crazy now that I was that young to be running one, but hey, we did it. It was really cool, which led to my obsession for the next 4 years of running. And in that time frame, I ran 6 half marathons, just going back and forth. I did the same Wrightsville Beach race 3 times. I did the same Myrtle Beach race twice. I did another half marathon in Durham, North Carolina, the Ramblin' Rose. I did one in a few other locations. But let's cue up to the point of my senior year of high school. I was running cross country and unfortunately had to stop. I had to stop running because I had so many injuries. I got a groin injury. I got plantar fasciitis in one of my feet. And it became really painful, and it bummed me out a lot. It made me really, really depressed that the one thing that was such a mental reprieve for me was suddenly taken away. And so it was really sad. It took me a long time to kind of heal each piece. And the funny thing is, when I healed one piece and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start running again, another piece got broken. Something else started to break down and not feel good. So it took me a really long time, and it took me saying, I'm going to go do other workouts. I'm going to go do other physical activities that aren't running, so I can get stronger and I can heal my body. And if you guys know me, if you follow along on my YouTube channel, you know it is very, very hard for me not to work out. It's I have to work out every single day. It's such a mental thing for me to do. So, having that taken away was extremely hard. Cue up to the beginning of 2020. This was pre-COVID. This was before the world shut down and everybody went crazy. I got inspired, and I said, you know what, I'm going to run my 8th half marathon. My 9th half marathon, excuse me. I'm going to run my 9th half marathon, and I'm going to do it. COVID happened. I was going to go down to Dallas, Texas and run the Dallas half marathon. And, unfortunately it got canceled and it went virtual. And funny enough, it ended up being okay because my body started to hurt again. I got to the 8 miles as my long run, and it became extremely painful to the point my body during my 8-mile run said, you're done. Like you're done. You cannot go any farther than this. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise that the race didn't actually happen, and we weren't able to do it. Cue a few months later to I was watching Brittany Runs a Marathon. If you've watched that movie, as a runner, you as somebody who gets juiced up really quickly, don't watch it if you're not prepared to sign up for a race or some kind of activity that you're just going to go hard on it. You're going to go balls to the walls. You're going to do whatever you possibly can. Because I watched that movie, and that night I registered for my 9th half marathon to actually happen in person. And it was the CarMax half marathon up in Richmond, Virginia. And we have family up there, and so found out they were running it as well. And I said, all right, we're doing it. We are doing it. So it was nice. I started training beforehand. I didn't start training till 12 weeks beforehand. But before that, I just started occasionally running. I wasn't doing anything more than 4 miles. But I was just getting the feeling back in my body like, hey, we're going to have to start running these daily, short distances up to 5 miles. And then on the weekends, we're going to have to run a long distance. But we're also going to have to keep doing our strength. We're going to keep having to work in and build these runner muscles up again. And it was going extremely well. I have some Achilles and calf issues just to begin with, but it was, I had my Zoots on, I was cruising along, and I was feeling pretty good. And then a couple weeks out before my race, Achilles had healed pretty well. We were icing almost every single night. Key to the wise, don't switch your shoes beforehand. I've been a Brooks runner for years and years, and I was having some issues because I wear orthotics, and I was getting blisters on my feet, and I said, I don't know if this is because they're getting too low. I don't know if these are getting just to the point where you can't run in them anymore, or if my foot is not liking running in Brooks anymore. I was down in Atlanta, Georgia, and went to the running store, and they said, try these Hokas on. Now, I'm not dissing Hokas at all. I ran my half marathon in Hokas, but I got extreme blisters on my feet because they were pinching my feet. And I'm back in Brooks now, but I did not set out on this for a time basis. I knew I wanted to get under 2.5. But I was doing, 10:45s, 11:15 minute miles. My body, that's what my body can handle now. It's not as fast as I was in high school running cross country when I was able to do a 7:30 mile. Good grief, if I could do a 7:30 mile now, I'd be living in heaven. But I just wanted to get under 2.5. And it truly, that was my only goal. That was my only thing that I wanted to do for this half marathon. So driving up to Richmond, Virginia, my dad came with me because his best friend and my uncle, he was the one, his wife, my aunt, Amy Paget, was the one who was running the race with me. So we drove up, we stayed with them in Richmond, Virginia at their house, and got to put Blue in the backyard with 2 other doggos, and he got to run around in a fenced-in yard, which he absolutely loved. And the next morning, we carved up on some pasta. Yeah, it's always the best pre-race meal, guys. And Amy Paget and I went and got our race packets, which if you ask any runner, the most exciting thing about any large race is getting to go and pick up your race packet, which is basically you're going to this big like show that they have set up. You pick up your race bib, you get your t-shirt, you get all of this swag and goodies, and you're able to buy all this running stuff, and it's awesome. You're just like, you're so fueled up and you're energized and you're ready to go. So you do we had a pasta dinner. You're in bed a little early, chugging water just to try to get as much in you. And then boom, you're waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're getting all your stuffs laid out, ready to go, and eat a banana or something to go along with it. And it was time for us to get in the car and head to downtown Richmond and find somewhere to park. And head to the start line, and it was energizing. They had us in corrals. We were ready to go. I felt okay. I had my Zoots on. I had my bike shorts on. I was wearing a long sleeve shirt. I didn't have a throwaway shirt. And if you don't know what a throwaway shirt is, it's just a shirt you wear over top of the shirt that you're going to have on the whole time. And it's just because you're going to wear that the first couple miles, and then you can take it off and chuck it. And you don't really care about getting it back, because you will not get it back. But it felt really good. We were doing a great pace. I had people who were tracking me through an app that were at home or across the country, which was really cool. Mile 10, things got really hard. Things got extremely hard. 10 was the farthest long run I had ever done for this training. 10 got really hard and started to have to do 4 and 1s, which if you don't know what that is, that's you run 4 miles, you run 4 minutes, walk a minute. But feet started to hurt really badly. I was having some issues with my left knee, and it's kind of the point where you're just like, God, can I be done? Am I done yet? Can I be done? And then you get to this, at the end of it, it's this extremely steep hill that you feel like if you take one wrong step, you're just going to absolutely tumble. So you go down this hill and you're just you're passing people because people are trying to control themselves a little bit, but you're just passing people and you're running into that finish line, and you did it. It felt so good to have done it. It felt like a breath of, I did it. My race time was 2:28:06. I did it under 2.5. It wasn't the time that I was envisioning, but I did under 2.5, and that was all I wanted to do. So I can check off my 9th half marathon. I was extremely happy. But usually when you do a race, people say you get this runner's high, and I felt it before. I know what a runner's high is, and the sad part was I didn't have it as quickly as I wanted to after this. My body felt okay. I wanted to take a shower and eat breakfast as quickly as I possibly could. I wanted just to sit down or lay in a bed and just sleep for a little bit and recharge, and then get back up and be ready to be around people. But I guess the next question is, what's next? What's next is... I've run half marathons in North Carolina and South Carolina for the most part. Something that I've wanted to do for years, because I've always known that I was going to come back to running. I always knew running was going to be in my life. It goes in waves, and we have to heal things first. I have this half marathon bucket list I want to do. I want to do a half marathon in every state. So not considering the first 8 that I did, but starting with the Richmond, Virginia one, that's 1 state down. I got 49 to go. That's my goal. Doing 2 a year is my goal. I'm not going out for speed. If I get faster, great. If I don't, that's all right. But that is my goal, is to do 2 a year, and to do 1 in each state, and each half marathon be in a different place, so I can really take it in and really just appreciate the places you can run, the places you can see when you run. So I'm incredibly grateful for the journeys that running has brought into my life, and I'm excited. I'm healing right now. I've healing this knee and working with my chiropractor and making sure my quad's okay before I start running again. I think it's going to be about a month after my last race that I'll start running again, but I'm dying to. I miss it. I really do. I miss the feeling of just doing 3 miles. It's a beautiful distance. It really is. But I miss it. I miss it a lot, and I'm excited to get back into it. The next one I'm looking at is in Seattle in July. It's going to be warm, but it'll be cool because I have a ton of people out there, I have a ton of support, so it'd be cool to do that around all of them. If you are a runner, I'm super interested to hear what kind of a runner you are. Are you a sprinter? Are you a long distance, 5Ks, 6Ks? What's your beauty pace right there? What's your beauty distance? I would love to hear it. But as always, guys, this was another Fireside Chat. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was speaking to my runners out there and my people who love a good challenge. And if you haven't, I suggest you watch Brittany Runs a Marathon because it's super motivating. But as always, guys, whatever platform you're listening to this on, please rate this, give it a heart, whatever it may be, so we can keep doing these episodes and keep having these conversations and sharing stuff with you guys. As always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.